All right. So, any questions on storage account prospect of actually what we discussed yesterday class? So, still we just need to explore about uh, uh, queue storage and table storage. Okay, so that we are gonna discuss. Okay, but we just closed only for the blob container and the other one is a file share. So those two
Sir,
component. Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
one question.
Yeah,
Sir, if we have a LRS and so it will store the data in same data center or in three different data centers.
it will store in a single region, three data centers.
Hmm. Okay, three different data centers. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So other thing would be queue storage and the table storage. We're gonna explore it. But part of Azure SQL DBA, most of the use cases we will use for the file share and the blob storage. It means the container. Okay, so whether you are going to do the migration or you are going to go import export doing of backup files and extracting of cloud to on-premises also, there is a mediator of storage component. Okay, so that's what I said. On-premises typically will use for the storage account. Storage team is different, but as a database administration guy, you have to make sure this all this services Microsoft Azure Cloud Landscape, right? So today agenda basically what we are going to do. Okay, virtual machines. Okay, so yesterday we deployed one VM for do some R&D kind of thing, storage perspective, right? But today agenda is we are going to deploy a VM. Okay, it is a straightforward only, but in a real time scenario based where when it is going to utilize, how it is going to leverage. That is the most important point to know focus on this. Okay, so these are all comes into the picture. Azure Compute Engine and Azure Storage, Azure Networking, Azure Load Balancer, Azure Site to Site and Point to Site. So this will comes into the Azure administration role. Okay, but still, if you are having 4+ years of experience and nowadays everybody is asking the multi technology. Okay, and this will help you folks basically to understand the other cloud uh, technology as well. If you want to learn, Google Cloud, so it will go to simulate to you. Okay, the connectivity, the working flow, and all. It is going to help you folks easily. Okay, so that's what we are just focusing on 1 week of basics thing. Then after that, we are going to start, actual SQL related stuff. Okay, now just come into the picture. Okay, so we just have a lot of things to explore it. Okay, so we do have in a Microsoft documents as well. So just click on this page. We'll just letting know the what are the VMs available and Azure VMs is available. Okay, so how we can able to deploy it, in a quick manner. Okay, so you can able to see this one. Okay, so where you can able to explore it is self-learning. Okay, but our agenda will go to the portal and just make sure this all this uh, virtual machine related stuff. Okay, so you can deploy Linux machine, you can deploy Windows machine, and by using of the PowerShell also we can deploy. By using of the Terraform, CLI also we can able to deploy. Let's say if you want to deploy by using of PowerShell, so you can just navigate to here and just take the step and deploy it. Okay, just make sure this all this step by step copy and paste it. The VM is going to deploy it. Okay, install the web server also. So simple thing, you just need to copy, paste, and execute. We will do this one. Okay, no worry. First, we just explore up to the GUI method. Then after that, we'll go for the either in a PowerShell or the Terraform script. Also, you can able to deploy into the same kind of approach. All right. So nothing to do here. We just need to update the location and all, and the resource group name, whatever you want. And then your database or VM services is available for usage. Okay. So let's see now. Just navigate to the portal. So what are the options we have to explore at in this Azure Virtual Machines perspective, right? So as I said, there is a multiple ways to explore on this one. Okay. So if you can see the left side panel where I'm just, my cursor is available. So you can see this, how to create, how to view. So creating a virtual machine that run Linux or Windows, select the image from the marketplace to use your own customized image. So there is a two things. Okay. So customized image or, marketplace image. So if you are the marketplace image in the sense it is already predefined, some of the templates is available that we are going to use. Okay. The customized image in the sense normally in the enterprise level what it is going to happen if you want to run or the deploy any kind of VM. Let's say you are working into the one project that is called an X project. Okay. That X project is having requirement like .NET application or with a SQL database 2016 version, with the some configuration like 8 core CPUs and 20 GB RAM and with the storage amount of 200 GB kind of thing. So that customization every time you cannot able to go and go and create a each and every time, right? So let's say if you want to deploy this kind of VM every week and every month, you no need to go and every time click on virtual machine, provide your inputs and do deployment. That is not the case actually. Okay. So that we are going to do some customized image for your project related. So it may be specific for the project. Okay. So or else you may use for the organization level some globe some customer template for global usage also you within your organization. So that kind of approach typically will follow. But now here, okay, so since we are learning phase, just to have deploy the VM and how we are going to make sure that VM to customize template when you are going to deploy any kind of VM. Okay, that two things we are going to do today, right? So let's jump into this one. Okay, so as I said, there is a multiple ways to configure to deploy here. So here is the create option where we can able to go and navigate to the compute option over here. You will get a lot of things to create these are all the marketplace related guys. Okay, so this is not in a customized related things. This is not a customized related things. Okay, let's say if you go and see virtual machine creation. Okay, so this is also one of the option you can able to create. I'll show where exactly the customization option will come. So this is also Azure Virtual Machine solution for virtual mission. Okay, so VMware solution. So if you have VMware integration with you, you can able to do. And this is for Arc enable. Basically, it will going to discover entire your stack to get any vulnerability related stuff. And Azure Virtual Machines with persistent present configuration. Preset configuration over here. So whatever the predefined configuration set is available that we can able to leverage, but we are going to take normal plain VM here. Okay, so either the ways you can able to explore it here. Let's do today actually the Azure virtual machine. Okay, so just click on this virtual machine. Okay, so what are the option it is going to explore it basically. So the first basic panel, we have a lot of options over here. The more thing we just need to have some sort of configuration information important here. Okay, so just before we discussed about this images related, so I see all images are configure VM generation. If you go for all images, it is going to explore it to you whether you are going to use the marketplace marketplace existing one. Okay, marketplace existing VM. If you can go and see my images, okay, if you already have some custom images here, it will go into available here. So how we are going to do the custom image and how we are going to utilize that image, that we are going to explore it later. But at this moment, we'll just go for deploy the one VM address. Okay. So as I said, okay, so the subscription over here, the resource group is, it is a logical container. Inside the logical container we have multiple resources like database, virtual machines, networking, storage, app services, whatever you want to put, you can put it, and that is resource group. And here I'm just going to create, okay, so SQL demo 4. Okay, so here I am. SQL demo 4 is my next resource group, new resource group I am trying to create. Here the unique name we have to go provide here. It should be within small letters. Okay, so SQL demo 4 VM I'm going to mention here. Okay, and the location would be, basically I want to go for different location, so that so different uh, reason wise also, sometimes it is going to give some more options and more features here. See, other thing I would just want to explore it here. So availability options. Okay, so Azure offering a range of options to managing of your availability residing of your applications, architect or solution, and replicated VMs, whether it is in availability zones or the availability sets, to protect your apps and your data centers. Okay, so within the region, as I said, the Microsoft is going to maintain some zones. Okay, so it is going to spread across zones. Okay, so based upon your criticality, you can able to go on the off this one. Okay, so I'm going to explain this one. Okay, it's very important. I have some PPT presentation for this one. We just go and explore this one, availability option. Okay, so this security option also we have trusted virtual mission standard. And so if you can go for the trusted large virtual mission, it is going to protect any attacks in a gen 2 virtual missions with the configurable features like secure boot and virtual trusted platform mobile PTM. Okay, these are the new features is opting going to happen. Let's take in a basic one, so that it is going to deploy easy. Okay, so at this moment, I am not going to opt any availability, no virtual scale set and availability set and availability zone. Okay, so if you are going to opt this availability zone, typically, separate your resources within the region. Okay, so in the single region, as I said, in a multiple zones is going to accommodate. So this VM, it is going to services, it is going to spread into multiple zones to make high availability. And the virtual machine scale set is basically as and when, if you want to increase, let's say 1 minute. So what I want to tell here, so the scale set basically, if you have a peak business hours, okay, so it should automatically scale up some sort of configuration of the CPU memory and IOPS. And also if it is a non-business hours, it should automatically scale down, okay, based upon the usage. So that much of capability you can able to leverage in here. Okay, so which one is the scale set, it is not configured, but we need to configure that one as well. Okay, so that it is good. And availability set option. So this availability set option entirely, see, when you when you configure any VM, okay, so it is not just like deploying, right? So there is a backend. You just need to have some CPU, RAM, power, and also the switches, routers configuration is the behind of the server, right? So that flexibility it is going to give the availability set option. So this entire stack we have tomorrow session. Okay, so I'll in detail I'm going to explaining this. I'm giving brief idea on this one. Okay, so what is availability zone? What is virtual machine skill set? And we'll do one demo kind of thing. Okay, just make it default at this moment. So I just provided resource group and the VM name and the location and the images. As I said, the custom images as well as the marketplace images. At this moment, we are taking the marketplace images. Marketplace images. And if you want the custom image, how we are going to create the custom image, I'll tell you. Okay, so once after the VM got created, we'll get an option to create custom image of that VM as and when you are going to require. So when it is exactly, it is going to have the custom image. So there is a new project. Okay, so on that new project, basically what we will do. Okay, so what we will do, you guys will do some development. Okay, you guys will do some development. Okay, so that development work, everything end to end test from testing team and application team and the database team, everybody. So a client is accepted, yes, this is the function, the configuration, the performance, everything is fine. So we are good to go for non-prod and the production environment. So that is the case. So the team is not going to do from the scratch here. So what they will do simply, they're going to take the complete, image of this existing VM and they will directly going to deploy to use that, same image of, non-prod and the production environment. Okay. So after the deployment also, you can able to change some sort of settings as per your production requirement, non-prod requirement. But the concept is this, custom image, it is going to reduce the like time saving and whatever you want to do some R&D kind of thing, it is going to help to use it to deploy further also. Okay. So sometimes the current environment, what they will do, they will have some predefined configuration based upon their environment. Like, some X company, they'll follow some standard, some, security appliance and, some predefined configuration, predefined tools to monitor. So this kind of thing, typically they will follow to deploy VM. Okay, that image they are converting to the custom image. Then the best example is for the SQL related stuff. You are deployed, SQL VM and you have tested and everything is working fine. So the same kind of VM, if you want to deploy into the production one, you can take that custom image of the existing one and deploy into this production image. That is the best example what we discussed, the custom image related stuff. All right. So we do have, image prospect of multiple options over here. If you can see, it's a Windows mission and with the combination of the Windows and the SQL. If you guys see here, the marketplace image currently available SQL Server with Windows combination. So you no need to install manually the SQL Azure. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So at this moment, I'm just doing, plain VM, but you have in a marketplace lot of the features here. So Linux machines, SUSE machines, Red Hat Linux and Oracle VM. So there is a lot more options is available. Let's go, if you want to deploy Windows 11, Windows 10 also, you can able to deploy. So if you want to see here, explore it, you can, many more option to see. So if I want to deploy Windows 2019 VM. So if just press enter, so it will show the 2019 combination. Okay, so Windows Server 2019 with the SQL application. So likewise, will get more option to the marketplace. Okay. So this will in a real-time base, this will comes into the scope of when you are initial POC non-prod environment, it is easily to work you folks. Okay, just now I'm going to taking the only for 2016 data center edition. Okay, or else we can go for the SQL Windows 10, Windows 11 as well. Client servers. Okay, so just make this one 64 AMD. Okay. And
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. If
Yeah,
I
please.
select a instance with a SQL server,
Hmm.
so does it cost more?
Yeah, definitely. So since that, if you can see here, we have free licensing here, okay, to testing purpose. But for your
Hmm.
question, with the combination of the SQL and the Windows, definitely it is the cost is going to increase. Now, again, let's go for this question. Very good question. This is, I want to explain it basically the how the real time it is going to happen. Okay. So you are in a cloud. Okay. Okay. So two use cases. What are the use cases now? Use case one. Okay. So what is the use cases here? Only you don't have SQL license. Okay. So you want to deploy, okay, SQL server, right? Either 2014, 16, okay, plus Azure VM. And that VM, Azure VM. Okay. This is the use case one. Okay. And the other use case is two. You have SQL license. Okay. You want to deploy SQL Server plus Windows VM. Right. So if you want to, deploy uh, SQL Server in Windows VM, there is a two use cases, right? So this is Azure VM instead of SQL VM. We can call it as Azure VM only. This is also same. Yeah, it's nothing but Azure VM. So in both the cases, your aim is to run the SQL Server into the cloud, right? So now let's take the use case one, what it is going to happen. You don't have, right, SQL application, SQL licensing you don't have, but you want to run the SQL. So in this case, what it is going to happen in the use case, you have to pay cloud vendor SQL application, right? Windows Server. So you have to pay the both the things, right? You must pay this both the things to two things. Okay, so let's assume that SQL application it is in 100 USD and the Windows VM is 70 USD. I'm just giving approximate. It is not in a fixed number. So nearly 170 you are paying monthly cost. Okay. I'll show in practical in a calculator as well. Okay. So other case is use case two. What is going to happen? You have a SQL license. Okay. Indirectly, you are saving your money. SQL app free. I mean, you have a licensing, right? Licensing sense, if you are going to deploy that, there is no cost at all. And only for Windows Azure VM is going to cost. So it's nothing but 0 plus 70. 0 plus 70. So total how much you are paying? 70 USD, right? So this is what it is going to happen, right? So now let's go and see this, practically. Before going to deploy, you have to understand the concept. Okay, so what I want to explain it here. Go to this Google, okay, Azure pricing, Azure pricing calculator. Okay, so just click on this Azure pricing calculator. See, it is very important in a real time. Okay, so client does not know these internal things, right? You would have to ask when you are doing some migration related stuff. Okay, yes. Do you have enterprise licensing agreement? Either the Windows or the SQL. Sometimes user is having the Windows license also. Okay, so that also it is going to give some uh, cost reduction. So I just want to go and navigating here, go to the compute option. So go to the virtual machine. Okay, so it is going to exploring it me virtual machine navigation. Go to view option. Now see here. Okay, so this is the East US region. We are going to apply OS is Windows and a standard tier, all categories. Okay, so what kind of VM we are going to do? General purpose or CPU memory, high performance, memory optimized, storage optimized. So these are all the flavors. Okay, let's say high performance related. Okay, mostly this will use for the SQL application. Memory optimized, so the okay. So any storage related, like you have petabytes of data if you want to maintain that kind of VM also can able. So let this moment take the just all categories. Instance series also we have what kind of VM. So each series there is have a predefined configuration settings here. Okay, so I'll show you that what exactly that is. So it is a D series kind of thing. Okay, so I just gonna take the basic one, BBS2. So here it is going to show me so two CV cores and 4 GB RAM and zero temporary storage and all, right? So this is going to give some sort of information here. So here there's virtual cores and GB RAM and zero temporary storage. So there is no temporary storage. If you want to add, you can add. So at this moment, I'm going to take the main one before S1. Okay. So you want to run 730 hours in a sense one virtual mission in hourly wise and day wise or monthly wise. So this is basically it will show for the day wise. So 31 days you want to run one virtual instance. Okay. So here if you want to see at this moment we are going to pay as you go, right? Pay as you go. See how we are going to reduce the cost is basically so licensing. If your hybrid benefit is there, it is going to have some OS license with you, Windows license with you, it is going to reduce. So if you go see at this moment 137 USD, right? If I have the OS license with me, it is going to reduce like this. Okay, and if I am going to reserve 3 years of the reserved instance, 82 is it. So our case is SQL Server, right? So let's take the SQL Server as well. Okay, so this is
Sir, it
normal.
was SQL managed instance, so it means in that SQL server was installed.
Mhm. Yeah, SQL managed instance, the SQL OS as well as the SQL application, it is going to taken care by the Microsoft. You are no need to do anything on that one.
Okay.
Okay. So here is our SQL database related stuff. Okay, so if you can see this uh, VM related stuff and the database related stuff here. Okay, so I can see this combination of a database related as you said. Okay, so when go for the compute related stuff, basically we'll see here. Okay, so I can see this which mission virtual machine compute option over here. Okay, so I could go and click on this VM and how we are going to reduce that option. Okay, so if you can see, there is a two things. Okay, including a OS with the SQL application, we can choose this one. Okay, so that it will show that cost related stuff. Now I'm just navigating here with the combination of the Windows OS and the SQL application. So options, how this cost is going to reduce. Normally, if you go for just like this, it will cost around 1200 approximately, the average monthly cost, right? Let's say you have the SQL application licensing, so it will reduce off of the licensing here. So SQL is very cost here. Okay, again you have OS licensing also, it is going to reduce $70. Again, if you want to go 3 years reserved instances, the same product you'll get 50 USD. Okay, so and if you can reserve here, this is going to give around 26 USD. So where is the 1200 USD, where is the 26, right? So this is the option where you can able to have this licensing prospect up. Okay, at this moment what I'm going to do, I'm just deploying only the simple VM. Okay, so based upon this use case, either you have the licensing, how we are going to leverage that also you can able to explore on that. Okay, let's jump into this one now. Any questions? No.
What is the reserved instance? That means reserved.
Okay, reserved instance in the sense you are going to reserve that instances. Let's say the best example is in a what is this month is September, right? You are getting project around February. Okay,
Okay.
so in a February you are going to deploy that VM or the SQL application, and that February month uh, 10 servers. Okay, so in a some specific zone, so specific region, let's say East US region. Okay, so at that period of time, if you are going to deploy, if you want to deploy 10 VMs kind of thing, okay, that it is going to give one thing is, they may not be available that particular period because of the peak huge demand. And the second option would be, okay, so that is not maybe available. Okay, one thing that may not be available. Second thing is, you cannot able to deploy on file that the particular region, that particular service, whatever you are going to deploy. Let's say you want to go to deploy East US region in February month, 10 servers.